and you go real fancy. I don't think we do this. I'm just doing it for you. And there is our prosciutto toast.
Does it need some prosciutto?
Oh my God. No, that would be dumb.
When I worked in TV news, I hosted a little cooking show called West Coast Flavors. We booked Frau Kimling from the Schoolhouse Brewhouse in Jacksonville, and that's where I met Hilary. It was a very long shoot. Due to all the chatting, laughing, many shenanigans, it's a wonder we ever finished that day, but it also sealed my friendship with Hilary. She recently opened the Beatrice Wine Bar Kitchen in downtown Medford, which is where I'm headed today. Hilary encapsulates all the things I not only love in a chef, but a human in general. She's wildly talented, perfectly inappropriate, and she has a passion to feed people. Let's head to the Bee. Busy today.
We were closed last week.
I missed you.
Doing a like inventory week and cleaning, deep cleaning and everything, and there was some rioting.
You know I call this the Bee.
As you should.
Do other people do that, or did I come up with that myself?
We have not gotten other people to do it yet, but Reagan and I are trying really hard.
Okay, well, I own it. I call this the Bee.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, let's go see Hill at the Bee.
I think that especially because we have the two different name concepts, that the Bee is kind of the unifying one, because we've got the Beatrice, which is the wine bar and the sit down and the dining, but then we have the Busy Bees, which is the pantry, the grab and go, and like the take make stuff. And so
I love it.
The Bee is way easier to say than trying to specify, which component are you coming to enjoy today?
And this wasn't necessarily the vision, right? All of this.
This was a lucky happenstance of a whole bunch of disappointing situations that ended up turning out for the best. A fantastic silver lining. What we were looking for was a spot to do our grab and go deli. So I, as a mom of 5, and a professional chef, still go home at the end of the day and have no clue what to feed my kids. And half the time it ends up being crap that I totally am ashamed that I'm feeding them. Delicious crap, but still crap.
No, not crap.
No, I said delicious crap. but stuff that's thrown together, or stuff that doesn't have the nutritional value that I need my family to have. That, it's growing kids. They eat like vacuums. What I'm feeding them really matters. And I was like, if I can't do it, how do other people do it? Like, I'm trained to do this, and I struggle with it.
Good point.
So the original premise was starting that pantry where you could come grab stuff that is going to be wholesome, it's going to be whole foods, and be able to just take it and feed your family and not feel guilty about it, but also know that it's going to taste good. All the locations we were looking at around the valley just kept falling through. And, I called my husband on the verge of tears one day, and I'm just like, this is never going to happen. Nothing is coming through on this. And he's like, oh, by the way, just saw this. Like, literally on the phone was like, I'm sending you a Facebook post.
Love it.
And it was this place going up for rent. So it was Melange originally. Originally it was Deli Down, which is what I think Medford really knows it the most as. But Melange was a vegan restaurant they never stood a chance. They opened January of 2020. Sorry, I should preface that. It's not because they were vegan. It's because they literally opened going into COVID, and how do you can't open a restaurant going into COVID. That's especially in a basement, off the beaten track, and being vegan. Like, they had check against them.
Strike 1,
yes.
strike 2,
yeah.
strike 3. Okay.
I walked in here, and just I texted him. I was like, hey, I'd love to come look at the space. Like, I remembered it from Deli Down days, but this changed so much over the years. And just walked into this basement and I'm like, oh my God, the lighting. Like, the lighting down here is beautiful. It's cozy, like everything about this space I absolutely loved. But I went, oh shit, this is massive. And it's not, like you walk in and you're like, this is not a massive restaurant. But for what I wanted to do, I was like, this is massive, but this space makes so much sense. I can't say no. And so I'm laying in bed like night after night being like, how do I make it work? How do I make it work? And then that's where the wine bar factor came in. 2 Sauvignon Blancs? All right, yep, I'll pass them over.
We met years ago. I believe it was during a West Coast Flavor shoot.
That was the first time, yeah.
Right. Where I mentioned this, I am shocked we made it through the day because of all of the shenanigans and the incredibly inappropriate outtakes.
Yeah, I've said nothing inappropriate yet.
Yet.
Okay, I'll work on it. So I'm gonna do prosciutto toast.
Okay, I'm gonna come back there and join you.
Okay.
Was cooking something that you set out to do?
Yes and no. I always laugh in my family that, growing up, my mom always knew what all of us were gonna do. She was like, I know what you're gonna be when you grow up. I have that direction, or I have this vision for you. And she's always like, I never knew what you were gonna do. It never even occurred to me. And then at the same time, at 13 years old, I was opening up a fake restaurant in our family kitchen. It's called Alex's. Definitely named after Alex's at the mall, if anybody remembers that. Or I think it was in Ashland also. There was an Alex's in Ashland.
What a nerd.
Yep. My sister would dress up as the waitress, put on one of my mom's old dresses, possibly stuff her bra,
God,
and put on a wig, and she'd be full on diner, what can I get you, doll? And we'd print up menus, and we would run a kitchen out of our house, or run a restaurant out of our house kitchen. And so then, life goes on. I go to college and I graduate and I'm like, I'm going to cooking school. And my entire family was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Don't know why we didn't see this originally. And I'm like, yeah, sorry about the 4 years.
Sorry about that.
But going to cooking school.
You traveled to Germany, right?
I did.
What was the reasoning behind going there?
2007, I think. My family purchased Big Knoll. And up until then, I'd been doing private catering, working at the Jacksonville Mercantile, helping Sandy Dowling at the Willows, doing cooking classes.
That's right.
Brainstorming, what are we going to do? How are we going to use this whole space? The main building, they had an idea and concept. We did an informal market survey of what do we, the irony. What does the Valley want? Number one was a wine bar.
Shocking.
Could have just done that, gotten it out of the way. But number two on that list was a German restaurant.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. As we used to have one years ago, Silver Dragon. If you look at Silver Dragon, that used to be a German restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, you look at it. The whole thing looks like Austrian, German, Alpine.
I'll take a better look.
One Thanksgiving, shortly after, we were we're going to do a German restaurant. We were well, we need to go to Germany and actually research German food. So we went to Munich, which is southern Germany, and started just hopping on trains and going around, getting in cabs and being take us someplace. And we ended up on the very southern tip, right above Austria. Garmisch-Partenkirchen is the town. It hosted the Olympics.
Bless you.
Thank you. Just one of those life-changing meals. It was phenomenal. You don't know the German food could be that good. And my mom, being the audacious woman that she is, walks into the kitchen.
No.
Yes. Gets up, walks into the kitchen, and says, can my daughter do an internship with you? We're opening a German restaurant.
What?
And Dieter, the owner, so gracious and kind, and he's like, well, not right now, it's our busy season, but she can come back in March. I did a stage with them, and I learned everything they do. Like, he had me work every station, work through every single recipe. I helped them with the ordering, helping with inventory, like literally walked me through every component of his business.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, down to like furniture design. Looking back, like I was mid-20s, there by myself. My then husband, ex-husband, then husband, wasn't there with me. So it was just me and this kind of odd, like there was still a language barrier. Like the chef and I were just speaking French the best we could to communicate. So I wouldn't ever say that I was like, this is the most amazing experience of my life, because it was a learning experience. And learning experience, you never really look back and say, you're like, that's one of the most influential experiences of my life. But it was never like, oh my God. I was like waking up every day being like, this is amazing. I was waking up every day like scared to death. Like, because it's just like stranger in a strange land. I don't speak the language, and I'm in a kitchen where they're giving me so much responsibility, and I have no idea how to do any of this. First day, I'm chopping herbs for them, and you're nervous, and I chopped off my entire pointer fingernail. And so that was, the setup to the rest of my stay there, where I'm like, have the giant Band-Aid on, the finger condom.
You're that girl.
Yes, I was, because I was so nervous. So this is like our dark horse. And
this is your what?
Dark horse. Like,
why do you say that?
Because it really caught everyone by surprise how popular it's been.
Oh, okay. So this is the prosciutto toast.
Prosciutto toast. It's a pretty one. I wanted to make it pretty because it's pretty.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So that's our house-infused garlic oil.
We don't have very good luck with things that end in toast, though.
Yeah. Yes, we do. We have the best luck with those. Like,
it's a little inside joke.
Why aren't you being fun? Why aren't you smacking the prosciutto toast? Oh.
I never did that.
With the burrata balls?
I still have that video in my phone.
I mean, I'm glad you do.
No. If the boss is like, no dirt, it's like, here's the intro. On today's menu, quick and dirty chicken boob.
Please put a dirndl on.
Bad center toast. Bad. Bad center toast. Like, what were we on that day?
A lot of caffeine. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
I want to tell a quick little story. You're there for West Coast Flavors. You're dressed up.
In my dirndl.
And was it?
Dirndl.
Dirndl.
Oh, I was wearing the dirndl.
Traditional.
Which you had to call and get permission to make sure it was okay to put me on the air with my boobs all over the place.
That's right. That's right.
You were like, I don't know if this is going to fly.
And you're whisking something that literally is in a container about like this big, and you have
that's like
a 3-foot
quarter
whisk.
deli cup.
You have a 3-foot whisk, and it's like ka-clank, 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 ka-clank.
I'm gonna go get one.
Please go get the big ass
I
whisk.
feel like you need me to relive this. We're gonna whip up a little pesto for you.
All the memories this is bringing back. So many memories. Yeah, that looks about right. Right there. That looks about right.
Such a mess.
We have to talk about Schoolhouse Brewhouse, because this place, I mean, so many people still talk about it, miss it.
Yes.
Hugely popular and successful.
I get yelled at daily still.
You get yelled at daily?
Daily.
Because it's no longer here?
Yes.
Why, Hilary? Why did you do that?
I call it my COVID reset.
Yeah.
At the time, I had small children. And when schools closed down, you have small kids at home. What are you gonna do? Personal life, was not remarried, was still single mom at that time. So it's me sitting at home, like having to go home because I've got, an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old sitting at home being like, this is the best education ever. Who needs babysitters? The priority is, at the end of the day, them. And so I handed the reins over to my mom because I was like, because it's all family business. But I was the restaurant managing partner, and I had to go home. She took over. Year went by, 2 years went by, and I finally started going like, okay, like life's normalized again. I'm ready to get back to work. And my kids honestly were like, no.
Really?
They were like, no, we don't want you going back to those hours ever. And I was like, these won't be those hours, because Schoolhouse was 80 hours a week, 7 days a week. I always tell people, I'm like, Mother's Day of 2020 was the first Mother's Day I've ever spent with my kids.
What?
Because I was always, that's restaurant Super Bowl. You work on Mother's Day. I was like, all right, well, then Schoolhouse is no more, because I can't do that, and this sounds horrible. You can't run that restaurant with boundaries, because it's such a large property that you have to pay the bills, and to do that, you have to be all things to all people, open all times at all hours. Like you need that volume.
What do you think it was about it that made it so popular? Was it the place? Was it the food? Was it the people? Was it all of those things combined?
I think it was the energy. If you took each one single factor, was that what was amazing about it? No. It was really, I think, that the people that were working there really brought so much personality and who they were to it, but like as a cohesive group, that it enhanced every component of it.
Sure.
That it's like, okay, it wasn't just a schnitzel, it was schnitzel that you had with 15 of your family members, and in a like high energy raucous place where Ashley would come over and spank you with a paddle after dinner if you wanted.
Kinky.
Well, we still have the paddle. It's over there.
Aww.
I say, well, we have one paddle. So there were little paddles. Did you never do a paddle?
I don't think I was never paddled at Schoolhouse.
So it was your birthday. You had a choice of birthday dinner or birthday cupcake, or if you were 21, Jaeger shot and a paddle.
Maybe I did get a Jaeger shot and a paddle.
Yeah, and
I don't remember.
Because probably by the time you make that choice, you might not remember.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
It was a place where you knew you could come and make memories.
So we've got your
Prosciutto
house-made
focaccia bread.
Right?
So we do two different styles. We do like full traditional focaccia.
Yep.
But
which I've had, which is so good.
This is also amazing. So this is actually make into a bread loaf. And use it for our paninis. All in-house, homemade.
Okay.
All the things. So that's pesto mayo. So,
So mayo and then just like a pesto, you mix it together.
Mayo is our one concession.
All right, so
that's sliced pear.
On top of the pesto mayo.
Those, like its simplicity is dumb, but it's so good. Then this is our mixed greens. So we don't do traditional like spring mix. I like the heartier greens.
Same.
Right there, they stand up better to dressing.
Yeah.
They stand up better to the time.
They're better for you.
They are more diverse, better for you, because there's kale in here, there's spinach in here, there's turd in here. A sprinkle of sea salt, the piece de resistance, because who doesn't love burrata?
You had me at burrata. Mm-hmm. No joke. What's this?
This is balsamic glaze.
Ugh.
So just reduced balsamic. And then, you go real fancy. I don't think we do this. I'm just doing it for you. And there is our prosciutto toast.
Does it need some prosciutto?
Oh my God. No, that is not the first time this has happened.
Where's my prosciutto? You opened up the Bee. You said November 2023?
Yes.
So this is still a little baby.
Yes. We're still figuring it out. I always laugh. I'm like, the furniture's moved a whole bunch of times.
It really, yeah.
I'm like a teenage kid. It's like I'm not quite happy with my room. So I'm gonna keep moving stuff until it's where I want it.
That's so funny because every time I come in here, the furniture's in a different location.
And it gets a little bit better every time. But I feel bad because I feel like people get attached to where stuff is.
Yeah, stop moving shit around, Hilary.
I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, but you'll like it better, I promise. It'll take time, but you'll get there. Like I took away your favorite table here.
I know.
But I made Andrea's favorite lounge here. So
okay,
right?
All right.
It was a loss for you, a win for her.
I'll take it. What have you learned in this a little more than a year that maybe you didn't know before when it comes to owning a business, running a restaurant? Anything?
Yes. I mean, I don't think you can do something like this for a year and not learn anything.
Yeah.
But I'd say the biggest thing is demographic. So Schoolhouse was always kind of we set what we were and we went with it. And so we're a German restaurant and we do big steins of beer and we have giant portions and that's our thing. Here I flipped that, and instead of being this is what I'm offering, I said this is who I'm providing something for. Okay. And so my demographic is really what comes first and foremost here. And so we modify a lot of what we're doing based off of me trying to keep consistently with that demographic. This is who I'm targeting. What is it you guys need? My demographic, maybe that's selfish of me. I'm my demographic.
I don't think so.
Okay, I am a mom. I'm a working mom. I'm a working mom who wants to hang out with my friends sometimes. I'm a working mom that hangs out with my friends and would love some convenience. There's those, and so I keep building off of those. What are the things that we can provide that I know I can do for people? And that's really, I think, what's been the biggest learning curve here for me.
Why the bee? Why the Beatrice?
What came first? Busy Bees. So Busy Bees Pantry came first. And I, in my family, am Aunt Beanie, or Aunt B. The idea behind, so there was it's said that the initial concept was as a mom who's how do I feed my kids? But then, life starts progressing and it starts also becoming, how do I feed my parents? So a lot of this is also how do we get nourishment in front of a parent who's not mobile, who's eating fast food literally every single meal. And so we're working on trying to get these on DoorDash. We have meal programs, so it's 2-3 meals a week that we offer delivery on, but they're freezer safe. And these are freezer, oven, microwave, all of the things so they can't mess them up. So when we started, working on wine bar component, I was well, nobody wants to drink at Busy Bees. That's not the right name for a wine bar. And actually, The Bee was one of the original names for it.
The Bee.
The Bee. But the Beatrice won out in my very informal text that I sent to, no way official. This was me texting friends and family being what do you like better? So the Beatrice won.
I dig it.
And I should say, I'm sure you'll show it at some point, the painting over in the middle there.
Yeah.
Of the stern looking woman with dark hair and creepy black eyes.
Yeah.
Is my Aunt Beatrice.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that
Who painted that?
My mom did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so special.
So that is kind of there. So like I said, I have an Aunt B.
Right.
She is looking over me every day. I'm sure judging. Did you grow up in South Carolina?
I did until I was 16.
Okay. Yeah. How do you not have an accent?
It comes out, especially when I get on the phone with my mama.
Okay. I mean, because I've seen you drunk and it doesn't come out then. Well, because usually that's
This is a family show.
Really? Shh. You told me I was allowed to say shit.
We're recording.
Edit that out.
I have to edit that out. I waited for you so you could see the pure pleasure on my face when I eat this prosciutto toast.
And the burrata.
Do you have a philosophy? Stop it. Oh my God, you were terrible. Do you have a philosophy when it comes to cooking?
Yes, even if it's something that it's practiced and not said. that in twofold. One is, there's an emotional side of cooking, but there's also like put your heart into it, because the energy you're putting into your food is the energy that those who are eating it are getting.
I totally agree with you.
So yes, like I want things to be clean and pure and as like homemade scratch cooking as possible.
Yeah.
But to me, the intent is always what really matters.
What's your intent?
That I wouldn't feed people something I wouldn't feed my kids.
What's the best compliment as a cook, as a chef, as a cooking mom? What's the best compliment you've ever gotten?
Oh my God, it's just like what my mom used to make.
Oh,
And that one, that's a huge compliment.
That's a good one.
Because the hardest thing is to match that memory. It's not the food.
but don't you have those moments where you've eaten something and it's ratatouille, right? You are drawn, you are pulled back to this. You were 8, you were 11,
And you're just sitting there
you were
trying
20.
and you try to place it. You're
I
like,
know.
Where was this? What was happening? Like it's this like deep dive into your memories at that point, where you're trying to figure out like why did that hit my heartstrings so much?
For sure.
So, I do need to give a shout out to Reagan, who she's not here, so I can't force her to get on camera.
Right.
Which I think she probably planned this trip on purpose. So she doesn't have to be, because she's the friend who I was like, where can we get a glass of wine? And there's always this person who, at least with my 2 restaurants that I've opened, that I would not have gotten open if that person hadn't been involved in one way or another. Like if I didn't have Reagan helping me, especially in the kitchen, with recipe development and feedback on plating of stuff and just that like support, I was like, we'd probably still be trying to get open right now, knowing that this little like idea that we built has grown into something that actually has is getting a really good following, but also really good feedback from people. Is like, I'm like, yay, makes me happy.
How many times a day do you hear, this used to be deli down?
Every day, and one of our best-selling pantry items is the deli down feta pasta salad.
That's right. That's right.
Like the week before opening, he comes in and he's going through like the pasta recipe with us and showing us how to make it. We have this big commercial mixer back there that we stole it. I mean, it wasn't stolen, but it is definitely not being used in its original location anymore. And we're like, does anybody want it? And they said no, and we're like, we'll take it.
It's ours.
So it's
ours now.
But ancient. We couldn't get it to work because it was so dirty that we couldn't get the swing arm to work on it or anything. Dan took the whole damn thing apart, cleaned it, it's pristine, shiny, absolutely no reason to do that other than just one, hang out and being a good guy. And we're just like, thank you. We use that mixer all the time now.
He passed the torch, kind of.
There's so much history in this basement to be so keeping that component, the things that people loved about each of the different businesses that were here. We still have a vegan sandwich on the menu.
Oh, that's the nod to the vegans.
Yes. But because the irony, we have a lot of people not a lot. Every once in a while.
Let's be real here.
Every once in a while. Well, no, it's one of our best-selling sandwiches, but
the vegan Sammy?
Yeah, it's a vegan banh mi.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
But you can add beef. We do have bulgogi beef if you want to add it.
Fantastic.
It's delicious.
I'll have one of those, please.
So we do have people come in and be like, oh, where's Melange? We love them. And I want to be like, well, you love them, but they've been gone since August of 23.
Right.
And I mean, this might have something to do with why they're gone.
Perhaps.
You love them, you need to come in and support them. You need to come support the restaurants that you love. Sorry, that's my PSA.
We're gonna end right there.
Okay.